So recently I was able to score a box of the Federal Punch Personal Defense 22 long rifle ammunition and got to thinking about a really common question in the firearm community. Is 22 long rifle good for self-defense? I think most firearm owners would tell you it's not optimal, and they'd also probably tell you that if you are going to use 22 long rifle for self-defense, shot placement matters. Now, what is shot placement? Well, simply put, shot placement is accuracy. And so today we're going to put the accuracy of the Federal Punch 22 long rifle ammunition to the test. So let's go. What's up, crew? It's Chris with CloverTac. Welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to be comparing the Federal Punch 22 long rifle ammunition to a couple of other different ones in this accuracy test. We're going to do what I would consider a target ammunition in CCI standard velocity, and one from Aguila, the Super Maximum. This one I would consider more a hunting style ammunition. Now, when we're talking about ammunition, there's generally two specifications on the box you want to pay attention to. The first is the velocity. That simply means how fast the projectile is traveling after it's fired. That's measured in feet per second. Then you've got the weight of the projectile itself, and that's going to be measured in grains. Now, if we compare the specifications on these three different types of ammunition, we've got the CCI standard velocity coming in at 1,070 feet per second with a 40 grain projectile. We've got the Aguila Super Maximum coming in at 1,700 feet per second with a 30 grain projectile. And what I find really interesting about the Federal Punch personal defense ammunition is it states it's coming in at 1,070 feet per second, same as the CCI standard velocity, but it has a projectile weight of only 29 grains. That is more similar to the Aguila Super Maximum. Now, quick side note on these specifications. When velocity is measured at the factory, typically it's measured in a rifle length barrel, something 18, 20, 22, even 24 inches long. What's interesting about the Federal Punch is they state their velocity measurement, that 1,070 feet per second, is measured from a 2-inch barrel, which is sort of unique. Now that we've got all of the nerdy specifications out of the way, let's take a look at the two handguns we're going to be using today. First, both of these obviously chambered for 22 long rifle. We've got the Colt little 1911 style 22 here. This one built by Walther. And then we're going to go with the Walther PPQ. Now, downrange, I've got three of our targets from Outdoor Products Plus, and I've put them at what I think is a reasonable, a realistic self-defense range of just 5 yards. We're going to fire 5 rounds of the CCI standard velocity on that left target. We're going to fire 5 rounds of the Aguila Super Maximum at the center target, and then we're going to finish off with 5 rounds of the Federal Punch on the right target. We're going to do this for each of the different handguns. As always, before we do any live fire, safety is always first. Got my eyes on, my ears in. Let's do this. Now, we're going to start out with the little 1911, and if I wanted the best accuracy, I would obviously use something like the K-Zone shooting rest, but again, we want to keep this fairly realistic, so instead, I'm just going to go with your standard two-handed grip, and I'm going to try to fire not as fast as I can, but as brisk of a pace as I can, and still keep things fairly accurate. And that was, of course, the CCI standard. Now, let's go 5 rounds with the Aguila Super Maximum. And finally, here we go, 5 rounds of that Federal Punch. Now I've got 3 clean targets up, 5 rounds of the CCI standard in the little Walther PPQ. Here we go. And now 5 rounds of that Aguila Super Maximum. And finally 5 rounds of the Federal Punch. Now it's time to compare the targets. So right away, the top 3 being the 1911, the bottom 3 being that Walther PPQ 22, and then from left to right, CCI standard, the Aguila Super Maximum, and then the Federal Punch. And the group sizes, except for that flyer down there with the PPQ 22, I certainly don't have a problem taking ownership of that little flyer there. You see that the group sizes are not terrible. Not a whole lot of difference between the different types of ammunition there. They're all still pretty good. I will say overall, one thing that really sticks out like a sore thumb to me is how well all 3 of these ammunitions run through that PPQ 22 as compared to that 1911 22. I'm gonna leave this up to you guys, put it in your hands. What did you notice from all of that testing? Definitely leave me a comment below and let me know. Also, there's a lot of nuance and stuff around 22 long rifle specifically for self-defense. So if you've got any questions, by all means, drop those down in the comments below. If you're looking for more 22 content, we've got a ton of it here on the channel, and I've got some of it linked right here. As for this one, we're done. So thanks for hanging out, thanks for watching, and until next time, don't forget to chain fire freedom.